guys, what's going on? Jay the Reporter coming at you once again. Now, we've covered the entire NFC over the last month, so now we're going to hop in this month covering the AFC. I'm going to probably try to get these videos out very quickly since the NFL season is getting ready to start up really soon. I know y'all thinking that it's only June. Trust me. September will be here before you know it. So I'm trying to pump these videos out as quickly as I can. Now, we're going to get started with the AFC South. If you're not familiar with that division, that is the Texans, Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. Now, one of the cool things about this division is that you almost every year kind of don't know who's going to win the division because there's always 2 to 3 of the teams that are kind of right there. You can literally put the teams on a board, throw a dart, and whoever it lands on, you're like, yeah, they can win the division this year. So that's pretty much the kind of division this has been pretty much since Peyton Manning's exodus. And then, of course, with Andrew Luck no longer playing football, that just put it all in the air. So we're going to get started. We're going to hop into it with the defending division champion, the Houston Texans. So the Texans are going to start the year against a team that ended their season in the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning that game and winning it, pretty much going away. I mean, the Chiefs are a very well-prepared team. They don't lose openers. Andy Reid doesn't lose openers, which is probably the most important thing. He does not lose openers. He'll win that, and he'll win after a bye week. So you're guaranteed there's 2 guaranteed wins on your schedule when you have him. But you know for a fact that they're going to come out, they're going to win week 1. And then the Texans, they really don't have a good start off to the season. They have the Chiefs, then they have the Ravens, they have the Steelers. So a quick 0-3 start. But if you're a Texans fan and you see how this team does, they can start off terrible, rail off like 5-6 wins in a row, and all of a sudden they're back into the running game division. So that's pretty much what you're looking at here, because their next 3 games are against the Vikings, who I believe are a great football team, the Jaguars, and the Titans. And those are going to be 3 wins in a row for these guys. Now, if you watched my videos before, you know how much I love the Minnesota Vikings. I love the Minnesota Vikings, how well they come out and play. I just believe that in this game, the Texans, they gotta find a way to right the ship, and in this kind of a game, I'm gonna take the better of the 2 quarterbacks, which of course, anything that's throwing a football in Minnesota is not comparing to Deshaun Watson at all. So I'm taking Deshaun Watson in that one. And then week 7, I have them losing to the Green Bay Packers, going into the break 3-4. Now, that's 7 games in, 3-4. You're pretty much where you would think you would be given the hell road that the early part of the schedule is. Now, the back part of the schedule is where it gets a little easier for them. So they come out that bye with a game against the Jaguars, who I think are just very inept. I don't really see this team winning a lot. I see them being competitive, but I don't see them winning a lot. So I got the Jags losing that one to the Texans, even them up at 4-4. Then a loss to the Browns, who I think can start to learn how to win. Because keep in mind, that's a team that just doesn't know how to win. So learning how to win is something that takes a little bit of time. It takes about 2 or 3 years to learn how to win as a franchise. And I think year 2 for them is going to be big. Now, they have a win against the Pats coming that I think are going to be woeful. And then a win against the Lions, and a win against the Colts, and a win against the Bears. So you're talking about railing off 4 straight wins to put the team at 8, and I believe it's 7, at 8-5. I'm sorry, 8-5. Then a loss to the Colts puts them at 8-6. A win against the Bengals and a loss to the Titans puts that team at 9-7 overall for the season. Solid considering they don't have D-Hop. Now, a lot of people are thinking, man, no D-Hop. Well, they played without D-Hop before. They played without Will Fuller before. So I'm thinking this team can win without star wideouts when you have a quarterback who's worth about 3 or 4 wins himself. So Texans at 9-7. Up next, the Indianapolis Colts, who basically are trying to find out who they can just plug and play at quarterback. They go out, they get Phillip Rivers, who is a statue, but behind that O-line in Indianapolis can actually help out. And here's how I got them fleshing it out. Starting off with a win against the Jaguars, then 2 losses in a row to the Vikings and to the Jets, who, keep this in mind, guys, the Jets were 7-5 with their starter under center with can't remember his name right now. I'll probably put a graphic on the bottom here, but with him at quarterback, it helps. And then the Bears, win against the Bears, lost to the Browns, win against the Bengals, then a bye week. So you're going into your bye 3-3. So it's an early season bye, like week 7 bye. So can't really get too mad about that if you're a fan of the Colts. And that's also going to be a theme for this division, because week 7, if you're a fan of that division, just take that Sunday off, watch the Texans game, and take the rest of that Sunday off, because there's no football for you. That's that week. And then a win against the Lions. And then they have a little bit of a murderer's row of 3 games in a row with the Ravens, Titans, and Packers, all of those being losses. And then a win against the Titans to kind of even things out. I do believe that with a good O-line, keep this in mind, Phillip Rivers just 2 years ago took his very talented team with a bad O-line and took them to the playoffs as a team that actually had beating New England. If you go all the way back to a video that I did on a totally different channel, I actually talked about that team, and then an Instagram post on that same from that same channel, I talked about, please, New England, just ease up. But I mean, just keep in mind, they made that team successful that year. That team doesn't go as far as they do without him. And then to end up the year, a loss to the Texans, a win against the Raiders, win against the Colts, a loss to the Steelers late, and then a win against the Jaguars puts the Colts at 8-8. Now the Titans are up next, and this team, I think they're 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 going to run the ball. Period. They're going to run the ball. You can trust their quarterback a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I'm talking like maybe about that much. I mean, I just don't see a quarterback who can throw two passes in a game being a guy that can carry his ball club off to a championship. It's just not going to happen. And teams don't really win running the football too much, so you don't really get that kind of balance. So after that, we got the Broncos. Season with the Broncos, win against the Broncos, then 2 losses in a row to the Jaguars and to the Vikings, then a win against the Steelers, then a loss to the Bills and Texans takes them into the break at 2-4. So not really the best start to the year, but they can always turn it around. Like I said, the early part of these teams' schedule seems to be the toughest part, but you look at the back part of the schedule, I got them with a win against the Bengals and a loss to the Chicago Bears. I just think that in that game is going to come out to defense. I like the Bears defense better than I like the Titans defense, so I'm going to take the Bears in that game. And then you have the Colts, a win against the Colts, a win against the Ravens, a loss to the Colts, and then they reel off 5 in a row because the schedule gets easy at the end in a sense. Win against the Browns, win against the Jags, win against the Lions, and with that kind of momentum, I got them beating the Green Bay Packers and then ending the season with a win against the Texans, which in turn actually turns out to be the game that decides the division. I got the Titans winning that, going 10-6, taking the AFC South. Now, Jaguars fans, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take too much time talking about a team that I don't really believe in. So, Jaguars, I'm going to tell you where your wins come from, and just know that you got a bunch of losses coming after that. You're going to open the season with a loss to the Colts, which I already said you were going to lose anyway. And then you got a win against the Titans and a win against the Dolphins, which at that point has the Jaguars at number 1 in the division at 2-1. After that, you lose 13 straight games. So just be prepared to watch your team be competitive. Like I said, they'll be competitive in the game. But I just don't think they have the pieces to win these games. You're talking Bengals. I think the Bengals have a little more talent. The Texans, Lions, Chargers, Packers, Steelers, Browns, Vikings, Ravens, Bears, Colts. Even the Bears, I think, are better than the Jags right now. And that's including the fact that they're hapless at quarterback, even though I believe Nick Foles is probably going to wind up taking that job in the later part of the season. But, guys, let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Jay the Reporter, signing out.